So look, if you want to grow your wealth, your income, and increase the amount of time off, then these are the shortcuts that can help. Welcome to the Wealth Creation Podcast. And welcome everybody, it's Dan and we are live today. Hope you're well. So in today's session, I want to talk to you about the secret of running Facebook ads, and in particular about how to run a successful Facebook ads campaign, because we have so many strategy sessions every week. Just got off 2 this morning actually, and both of those people were basically, they both said the same thing. And what they said is, we've ran Facebook ads in the past and it just didn't work. All that happened was we just blew through a ton of money and we weren't able to sell our £1,000 product. And it's like, no, I get it. I understand why actually you're not making those sales. It's because you're trying to sell a £1,000 product straight off a Facebook ad. Now, in some industries, you can actually do that. But for most people, that's actually quite difficult to do. And I understand, you see all these gurus and they're telling you how to do all this stuff. And, you should just be able to sell a £1,000 product off a Facebook ad. And it's like, no, why? What on earth makes you think or believe that that's even possible? Because it's not. Like, for most people, for most normal people, it's not. You see people like Frank Kern, and I love Frank Kern, and he goes, just do this one simple thing and they'll flow in. And so you do that one simple thing and silence, crickets, nothing happens. And it gets really, really frustrating. And you think that something is wrong with you instead of the system that you're using isn't working. You must think it's you because it's working for Frank Kern. But if it's working for Frank Kern, bear in mind he's been in digital marketing for 30 years, 25 years. And imagine how big his mailing list is. Imagine how many followers he's got. Compare that to you and your followers and all of that kind of thing. So it's really, really difficult. And then imagine how much credibility and trust and how much, how deep those roots actually go, those roots that he's been digging for the last 25 years. I've known Frank Kern since he looked like a surfer dude. He no longer looks like that. He had a ponytail, for God's sake. No longer looks like that. Shows how long we've been in this game for. And so even when someone like us, for example, comes out and says, oh, just do this one simple thing, that can be hard as well, because we, again, have this massive amount of credibility because we've been in the industry for at least a decade. So what do you do? What can a person who's not got that much of a following, what can they do? And so this is what we're going to run through today. This is going to be the secret to running successful Facebook ads. That's what we're going to talk about today. Number one, straight off the bat, is you've got to have a certain level of credibility. Without that credibility, you struggle selling anything, okay? So one of the things that you need is content. And this is organic content. It doesn't have to be massive amount. We put out a lot of organic content. We enjoy doing it. We want to add lots of value to people who maybe can't afford us or who do want to afford us, but need to be absolutely sure that they're making the right choice. Well, how do you do that? Well, organic content is actually the way that we do it. We live stream all the time. We pull out the little short videos from the live stream. We post daily, 3 or 4 videos often, plus a live stream, plus we have images and that kind of thing that reinforces that, plus we have testimonials and reviews, so we post those out, and all of that is creating the credibility. Because what happens is, when somebody sees your Facebook ad, they go click your page name. When they go onto your page name, if you've just got, a picture of a cat, from November 2022, and that's the latest thing you've got, they are questioning whether you are even still in business or not. They think you've gone out of business. There's a great scene in Naked Gun 33 and a Third, which is showing my age, by the way. And his missus comes round to his single apartment and she opens the fridge and there's the Chinese food. And she's like, oh my gosh, I thought they went out of business years ago. And she sniffs it and then she passes out. It's because they did go out years ago, but he still had it in his fridge for that amount of time. That's what people think about you if you've got no organic content. So you have to have organic content. This is one of the reasons why we love having podcasts, because people will listen to your podcast or they'll search for you online and they'll find your latest podcast was yesterday or whatever it is. I think we've had a podcast go out this morning, in fact, which reminds me I need to post that out onto social media. But people will go to Google and they'll go to Facebook. When on your Facebook page, you've got no content there. They go to Google and you've got nothing about you. Like, Google your own business, Google your own name, and just see where you come up on that. We've got somebody else, and their name is the same name as a professional football player in the NFL in the USA. And it's like, well, dude, you need to put out a ton of content in your name so that you actually start ranking. That's what's going to get you some credibility. So straight off the bat, number one, that's what you've absolutely got to do. The next bit is the secret to running successful Facebook ads is you've got to be able to spend more per customer acquisition than your competitors. I'll give you an example. I've got some notes written down. So spend £14 on ads cost per acquisition. That's how much money it costs me to go and get a customer. Now, the customer that I'm getting is a £27 product. So it's £14 to acquire that customer, which means I make £13 product in profit. So what that means is that I can actually double my ad spend to get one product sale, which means I break even. And then you're like, well, why am I just breaking even? Why do I not just want to make loads and loads of money? Well, you do. But the point is that you should be upselling these onto the next thing. And the upsell should be a £57 product, a £97 product, a £295 product, might even be £1,000 a month. We had 2 conversations this morning. Both of those, one was looking at our rapid course creation training. The other had purchased the rapid course creation training. Both of those customers cost £14. So one bought, one didn't. £27 product costs us £28 to acquire both of those customers. And I think by the sounds of it, one is about to sign up for a £1,000 product in March. And the next one, we've got a coaching call, a strategy call tomorrow, and hopefully we'll upsell them. So our cost per acquisition was £28. We sold a £27 product, and our income off those could be infinite. I said to the guy, our job, we're going to sign them up for 3 months. Our job is to keep them in place for the rest of their lives. Hell, we want to attend their funeral in 30 years' time because we've got such a good relationship with that client. How's that for lifetime value of a customer? It's not just your initial product where you're making your money. People create courses and think, I'm going to be a millionaire this time next year, Rodney. Those who know Del Boy and Only Fools on Horses will know what I'm on about. And it's like, no, your whole idea is that you get in there, you make a small sale, and then you upsell them, or they go into your marketing funnel, and now you're starting to email these people on a regular basis so that you can warm them up, you can sell them something later on, and maybe you'll be able to upsell them. And so you've got 3 types of customers. You've got your greens. And those greens, they'll land on your £27 product that you spent £14 to acquire. They will book the strategy session. They will then pay the £1,000 a month or £2,000 a month or whatever that program happens to be. Brilliant. How's that for a return on investment? Then you've got your ambers. And your ambers, they're not ready to buy yet. They need warming up. So they should be going into your follow-up sequence. And so your follow-up sequence is sending them emails, sending them reviews and testimonials, sending them advice, inviting them to webinars, inviting them to a live event. At some point, hopefully, they, or a proportion of those people, a percentage, they're actually going to then start to buy. Then you've got your reds. And look, you could give away 3 Ferraris, holidays for life, party at Madison Square Garden with 3 beer and 3 booze. They ain't going to buy anything because they ain't going to trust you, no matter what they do. And they're tire kickers, and they are always going to be looking and struggling for the next thing to make money on. They are never, ever going to get anywhere, sadly. But that's like 70% of the marketplace, I'm afraid. Like literally, that is what they're saying to themselves. I'm afraid. I don't trust anybody. I'm not going to take out any business. I'm not going to run the risk. That's my hard-earned money. I'm not going to take any risk. And as we all know, you have to take risk in life. That is just part of it. But for you, when you're running your Facebook ads, you should be having a low ticket offer. Call it 27 quid. Then, like, how much money can you afford to spend to acquire that customer? Could you afford to spend £27 to acquire that customer? Of course you could. Then what's the upsell or the cross-sell, or what's the downsell? What is that? Is that a £57 product? Is it a £97 product? In which case, if you spend £27 for your customer acquisition and you've made £27 in acquiring that customer at the same time, that £97 is an infinite return because you've spent no money acquiring that customer. And then let's not forget about lifetime value of that customer. How long are they going to rely customers for? We had a client that came through, and I spoke at the Manchester Property Networking Club on the expert panel. I remember turning up in shorts and a shirt because I'd just moved to Spain. I was feeling very summery, and everyone else was in a suit and tie. There's Dan in his swim shorts on the expert panel, and this was 2 years ago when I spoke to this client, and I said, when did you first see us? He said, I don't know if you remember, but you were sat on the expert panel 10 years ago in your swim shorts and a shirt. And that's how long the sales cycle has been. So we don't know how long that sales cycle is. Sometimes it's weeks, sometimes it's days, sometimes it's a decade. We don't know when that person is ready to buy, when they've built enough trust, when you've built enough credibility. They might need an awful lot. Rumor is that people need about 7 hours of your content to be consumed before they are prepared to make a sale. So if you've not got 7 hours worth of content going out there, such as live streams like this one, such as podcasts like you're about to listen to, if you download the podcast, go onto my Facebook page or my website, go to the podcast section, you can see the podcast that was released this morning, which was last week's live stream, by the way. So we've got lots and lots of content going out to build credibility over time. And by the way, are some people just not simply going to like you? Of course. And that's totally fine. We want to diversify those people. Those that like you go on one side. Those that don't like you go on the other. The people that don't like you will never waste your time on a call. They'll never book a strategy session. They won't attend the webinars, or maybe they do attend webinars. They don't like you, right? So we're never going to book a call, which is brilliant for us because it means we don't have to qualify them in or out because they hate us anyway. They're never going to buy anything from us. Brilliant, which means we can move all our focus over to the people that do enjoy our content, who think, oh my gosh, who is this northern monkey who talks like that, who looks like that, and yet he's still able to close business? If he can do it, I can do it. And that's the point. That's why authenticity comes in. That's why we don't like trying, I'm in a hoodie. I'm always in a hoodie. Why am I in a suit on a live stream? And then when you meet me in real life, I'm in a hoodie. That's just how I live my life. I'm not adapting to fit into what other people's expectations are. They don't have to do business with us. Those people who don't mind because they see the hoodie and just don't care because it's the result that they're after, they're actually our better clients. And the people who moan and whine and whinge and complain at every little thing, they're also not our clients. Don't get me wrong. We've got to do a good job for them. But if they're whining and moaning, like life is too short. We're dead for 14 billion years. We're alive for 80. We're dead, I imagine, for the rest of time. We've got this very short period of time and we want to enjoy the journey, and hopefully you want to enjoy the journey as well. So you need a low-cost acquisition platform. Usually that's a training course of some time. We like to sell training courses between 17 and 27. We got a lot of information packed into those training courses, and it really does teach people a change in their life. A transformation is what people are buying when they buy training courses. And I know some people that do training courses and they don't put all the content in there because they're worried that they can't upsell and all of that kind of thing. But this is the thing. If you're not doing a really good job with those people, why would they want an upsell? Why would they jump on a strategy call or buy the £97 product if they've not been fulfilled on a £27 product? You want your £27 product to be at least 10x the value that they're actually paying out in hard cash. So at least £270 should be our £27 course in terms of value. And so that's what you've got to do. You stuff a heck of a lot of value. Now, I want to make a caveat here because this is really important. Value isn't length. The length of your videos, the length of your training course does not mean it's valuable. How many times have you been on a weekend training course and it's just fluff from start to finish and there's a few nuggets and that's it? I just got back from Funnel Hacking Live in Las Vegas on Tuesday. It was. Today's Monday, so last week. And I'm exhausted, by the way, jet lag. But I filled a complete notebook full of notes because the value that was in that weekend 4-day training course was enormous. And that's what you want in your training course for your clients. Don't hold back. Give everything that you can inside of that. Because this is what will happen. The people will watch it, they'll get motivated, but they cannot implement everything that's in your training course. Very, very rare does that actually happen. Often they need a helping hand, they need some coaching, they need it done for them, they haven't got time, they start off with the best intentions, then life gets in the way. That's what your upsell should be. You should be helping people to implement what they've then learned on the training course. That's where the real value is. Knowledge is not valuable in 2025. We see it. Oh, I get all this for free on Facebook or YouTube normally. And actually, that's not quite true. Most great content is not available for free on YouTube. But let's just assume for 1 second that it is. How many YouTube videos have you got to get through to get the piece of content that you actually need? Actually, it's hours and hours and hours of worth of content that you have to sit and consume to get the bit that you want. Whereas actually, you can buy our £27 training course. You go straight to it because it's titled, this is the bit that you need to solve this problem. You go to it, you get the bit that you need to solve that problem. Time. That's what you're saving for your clients. And when you're doing a done for you type of service, that's what you're doing. So the training course, 17 quid, £27, might be 95 quid, might be a weekend training course, might be £200. That has to be absolutely ram-packed full of great content that's going to get a transformational change for your clients. At that point, you've built up enough trust, enough credibility, and they will know whether they want to work with you or not. And they might go, I'm just going to go away, I'm going to try and implement what I've learned. And how many times do they do that and then come back later and go, it's just simply too much for me to implement? The amount of notes that I made while I was at Funnel Hacking Live was significant. I'm just looking for my notebook. I can't find it. And it was significant. And I'm going through the notes, typing them up. And when I look through all the things that I now have to do, there's so many things to do. And also because there are lots of great speakers, it's like, well, which one do you pick? Which one do you implement? Because if you try and implement all of them, that's also not going to work. So the done for you service, the helping people with the transformation that they need. Most people cannot get the transformation on their own. If they could, they would have done it already. Okay, so now we've got organic content. We've got running Facebook ads, spending, 14 quid or £20, whatever that's going to be to get a customer. You've got a £27 product. So your £27 acquisition cost is covered by your £27 sale. Brilliant. It's a zero return transaction. You've spent £27. You've got a £27 customer. Now here comes the next bit, which is you've got to qualify the leads, the people that have come through. Can you upsell them? Now, in my business, the best way for us to do that is to persuade those people to get onto a strategy session so that we can qualify them. Where are you in this journey? What help do you need? Whereabouts are you getting stuck in your journey? And if you could get you to your end result faster, what would that look like? What would you say to yourself if you could get there? What would your family think? What would your kids say to you? More importantly, what would you say to yourself if you could get there faster than years, if we could get you there in a month or two? What would that look like? How would it feel? And okay, what would you buy if you were able to close all those leads that we generated for you, Mr. Customer? What would that feel like? What would that do for you? What would your next 6 months look like? 1 year from now, as you're looking back, how would that improve your life? So you book some holidays. Brilliant. Where would you go? The Bahamas. Okay. What would walking on the sand on the beach with the kids playing in the water next to you, how would that make you feel? And so that's a strategy session. That is taking them into a future timeline and then looking back at, you've got two decisions to make. You either do nothing and try and implement it yourself, or you sign up with us and we'll help you get the result that you want. That's the qualification process. That's what happens or should happen in your strategy sessions with your clients. You should be qualifying people in and qualifying people out. So what does qualifying people in actually mean? These are the people that you actually want to work with and are not just working with them simply because they're the only people who said yes. You want to be in a position where you can pick and choose your clients. Let me just share some of these comments, by the way. I do like some of these. These are brilliant. I have no idea what that means, but thank you for sharing. Do you have talking syndrome? It's a live stream. What do you think happens on live streams? Are you this stupid that you don't understand how live streams work? Who said that, by the way? Let me see. Groovy Smoothie. So intelligent. That's such a wonderful comment. My advice is to get out your mum's basement, dude, and earn some cash. Make some training courses. Make some money. Go change the world. You don't have to be negative all your life. You don't have to be an arse. You choose to be an arse. It's okay. It's not a problem. You don't have to continually do that. You can make a choice to be a nice person. I get that it's the internet. I get that it's anonymous and that you can say fuck and twat and whatever else. I totally get that. But you don't have to be that person, because that will follow you around. It will follow you around for the rest of your life. It's the internet, dude. You better delete it, because it's gonna come and bite you in the ass. Maybe I'll just find out where you are. We'll come and knock on your door. I love shit like that. Should we get back to lead gen? Qualifying strategy sessions. Really, really important. And if you don't know how to do that, you're leaving all this money on the table. And all this money on the table is yours for the taking. But you've got to be able to learn how to run some Facebook ads, how to understand your cost per acquisition, how to create some training courses, how to then get them into the strategy calls, how to upsell. And then finally is this upselling. What else can you upsell them to? Now, we talked briefly about what can we do in terms of upselling. What would that look like? What are these products going to be? Are they upsells? Is it a done for you service? Is it an extra bit that's missing from the main training course? Which, by the way, I really don't like. I think you should be including everything in your £27 training course. It may be that, to include all the extra bits would actually be an extra training course. So, for example, we've got a £27 property sourcing training, which we sell coaching at the back end on. And actually, when people source properties, what are they? They are becoming a buy-to-let landlord. They haven't got a clue on how to be a buy-to-let landlord. And actually, there is space and scope for a buy-to-let landlord training course. Bear in mind, we live 1,000 miles away from my properties in Leeds. We live on the coastline of Spain here. We're very lucky to do so. If you believe in luck or hard work, it's up to you. We worked very hard to get here. But there is an opportunity then to create a buy-to-let sales course so that you can actually manage properties the correct way from afar without you having to go and deal with, broken toilets at 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, what is that for you? What is that upsell? So you have something called an upsell. So, a £27 product, you'll have a £97 upsell. A cross-sell might be another product that complements the existing product. So, like, for example, we could do a £10 leaflet design product for our property sourcing training. We've got that being worked on right now. So they land on the £27 product, they buy that, and then it says, hey, by the way, you're going to need some leaflets for your property sourcing. It's just £9.99. Why not buy them? There's 12 different leaflets. You can just put your logo, your phone number, and your website address on, send them to the printers and get them done. You don't have to worry about waiting weeks for a leaflet designer and all this additional cost. It's just £10. That's an upsell. And, if you might want to use ClickFunnels, you can get some one-click upsells, or it might be a cross-sell. That's actually a cross-sell. And then you might have a downsell, and that could be classed as a downsell as well. A downsell is usually something a little bit cheaper. So let's say they buy the leaflets for 10 quid, and then you might have sales scripts, and that's £4. And some people, by the way, they'll buy the whole lot. So now your customer acquisition, let's say it's a £27 customer acquisition cost. You just sold a £27 product, another £10 product, and another £4 product. What's that? It's £41. That's brilliant. So now you can spend all that money on ads. And so hopefully then you're also going to spend some, you're going to be able to transfer some of those people onto upselling to coaching sessions. Let me just grab a drink. If you've got comments, by the way, nice comments, please put them in the question box below and ask away. Again, you don't have to be nasty. You can choose to be nasty on a live stream because you think you are anonymous. But Groovy Smoothie, should we go and have a look at Groovy Smoothie on YouTube? And we'll just go see how many followers. This is what happens. I love doing this, by the way. I really enjoy doing this. So Groovy Smoothie left a comment. Should we go see how many followers? Now, what's really interesting, by the way, is usually these are kids. And let's have a look. Groovy Smoothie. So yeah, here we go. It's got 13 subscribers and one video posted in February with 13 views. Well done. What's a birthday if it wasn't for D-Day? I don't know what that means. But like you've got literally one view, 5 views actually according to that. And that's it. Joining 2004. Like you're winning, dude. Like you're totally winning with your one video. You joined in 2014. You're so winning. That's amazing, Groovy Smoothie. Well done. If anyone's got any actual questions, I'd love to answer those. Let's go back to that. So let me just recap for those people joining. First up, you've got to have content, got to have some organic content. Then you want to be spending some money on Facebook ads. Then you want to get a return on that spend. So you do that usually from a low price course. Then you want to qualify those leads. Or actually, before the qualification, you want to upsell, cross-sell, or downsell onto different products as well. Then you want to qualify those leads in or out. Groovy Smoothie, you're out, I'm afraid it would be. Then you'll be able to upsell them onto something else, maybe a done-for-you product, maybe a coaching product, and maybe that would help you guys get more money. Finally, on this, got to follow up. You have to follow up. What is the follow-up mechanism? Is it what's it called? Retargeted Facebook ads, which it might well be. Got to have enough people hitting the initial advert in order to run that, by the way, because otherwise the pixel doesn't fire. Is it putting all those leads into active campaign? So, for example, on a lot of our lower price sales courses, we use a two-step process. Step number one, name and email address, maybe phone number, but we don't necessarily need that. Name and email address, and then they go to the buy now page. And the reason they do that is often they'll fill in the first bit, they'll get to the buy now page, and then they just go elsewhere. They've had a change of mind. But now we've actually got their name and email address, so we can actually put that into active campaign, and we can send emails and follow up on these people so that they actually get our content. And if you remember right at the start, these are the greens, the ambers, and the reds. The greens are ready to buy immediately. The ambers, they will like being on your mailing list because they want to learn a little bit more. You send them more advice, more videos, more content. Remember, they need 7 hours worth of content to be consumed before they buy on average, which means some people are 14, which means some people are 1 hour. But you want to be warming up in this email automation process, or maybe you want to invite them to webinars or weekend events, whatever that happens to be. And so then you've got this continuation of warming up these clients, and at some point they're either going to buy or they're going to bounce off until they see you again. And this is what you need to do on a continuous basis for the next 20 years effectively, because, and I'm sure you've done this, you've seen an advert for something. You know, I saw at Funnel Hacking Live, we saw Armin Morand, I think that's his name, Armin Morand. And he did the sales stack. So you remember the old sales stack? This is worth £9,995. But if you this is worth 20 grand, this is worth 15 grand, this is worth 10 grand. The whole thing is worth £104,000. We don't want 9,995 today. We only want 2,995, and you're going to get all this value. That's the value stack. Everybody uses the value stack. That was Armin Morand. I think that's his name. He was at Funnel Hacking Live. I saw that dude 20 years ago. That's how powerful this is. That's how powerful your reputation is. That's why when you're leaving arsey comments on other people's stuff, it's going to come round and bite you in the ass. I'm probably going to subscribe to Groovy Smoothie's YouTube channel, and then I can comment on his stuff, which would be really cool. Find out how old that guy is, probably 13 or something. So this is how you should be running your sales processes. Now, if you've got an offline business, you should also be looking at, well, how do I get more sales online, which will drive people, more footfall to your bricks and mortar business? Or you're going to be able to sell to stuff to people all over the world. We have clients who are based in the UK, and they have clients all around the world, even though they're just based in the UK. We want to be able to extend the reach. We want to extend our reach. You want to extend your reach. You don't just want, I'm from Leeds. You don't just want people in Leeds to know who you are. You want people in London to know who you are, people in New York, because it may well be that your product is serviceable in other locations. We had a conversation just last week because when I was in Funnel Hacking Live, a number of people that came up overheard me speaking and said, "Oh my gosh, I love your accent," which is a little bit weird. Because if you live in Leeds and you talk like this, and other people in the UK, they don't like this accent. Generally, they don't like it. It sounds rough and common. Our number 2 in charge of the UK right now is a lady called Angela Rayner. And the amount of people that don't like her because of where she comes from and how she sounds is phenomenal. But she goes to America, they'd love her because of her accent, and they love us because of our accents. And so I'm saying to Graham, maybe we should just be running some adverts in New York or LA or where were we? We're in Las Vegas, for example. They love that accent. And if you notice on American sales adverts, they often use, for the knife cutting adverts, at 2:00 in the morning, they use an English person to sell that stuff, which is really, really interesting. But it may be that you're missing out on a trick right now because your product that you've only sold in one country actually can travel to other countries and other people want it because they like your style, they like how you sound, etc., they like how you dress, all sorts of weird reasons, right? So I think that's a really good way of getting into bigger markets than just your local market. Having an online presence, having a product that you can sell online with upsells, cross-sells and downsells, something that you can then get people onto a strategy call and then upsell them to your core offer or your premium offer. Two different things. We'll probably do a podcast on that next week. But you should have these different offers that are able to be purchased by people all around the world. And I think the problem that we have right now, especially right now with what's going on in the world, is that we are playing the game too small. Me too, by the way. That's one of the biggest learnings I actually learned at Funnel Hacking Live, is that we've got to be playing the bigger game. And I had a couple of major breakthroughs, which was to do with self-confidence and to do with courage. And even though sometimes you don't feel like going live, you just go live anyway. And sometimes you're going to get nasty comments, and it's irrelevant if you get nasty comments. It's just irrelevant. The comments are irrelevant. You just go out, you put yourself out there. Imagine not going live because you're worried about people making comments. And so imagine that live stream closes thousands of pounds worth of business for you, but you choose not to do it because some 13-year-old kid who's never had sex, still a virgin living at his mum's, says something nasty. Imagine that. That's real. It's what happens, right? So don't let other people stop you from being amazing, from being awesome. As I said, we get one life, we think, dead for 14 billion years. We're alive for 80 if we are lucky, and then we're dead at least for another 14 billion, maybe for the rest of time. We get this very short period where we are alive to do amazing things. We want to go jet skiing. We want to go up the Eiffel Tower. We want to go shooting out of a gunship in Las Vegas. I was going to do that, and I thought, no, I'm going to wait for my mate Dave. We're going to do it together and go to the shooting range. We want to go backpacking through China. We want to do all this amazing stuff. We're here for such a short period of time, and the things that stop us from doing that is not having enough money. And now is the time, I think, to release those limiting beliefs. And the only way you can do this is you've got to put yourself out there. You've got to create your product. You've got to create your Facebook ads. You've got to create your low ticket offer and your upsells and your landing pages. And you've got to go live, and you've got to create the short videos out of that. You've got to create the Facebook ads and the Google ads and maybe LinkedIn and Twitter if that's your thing. You've got to go out and put yourself out there so that you can live the most amazing life that you possibly can. Because, in 100 years, everybody that knows you is dead. Your kids are dead. Your grandkids are dead. If you're alive now, everybody's dead. Nobody knows who you are, right? So you owe it to yourself to go out and have the best possible world, the best possible life that you actually can. And if your kids are around, you owe it to them so that they can go off and be the best that they can without having to stress about money and about heating bills and about food and where all the next stuff is going to come from. And so they can clothe themselves. And so their children, your grandchildren, they don't have to worry and can have the best education and the best life experiences. That's what you want for you and your family and your kids. And I believe the way to do that is through creating a digital empire. You should have not just one training course. You should have 50 training courses. Not 50 training courses, 500 training courses. Not 500 training courses, 5,000 training courses. Are most of those going to fail? Yes. But the 100 or 200 that do very well is life-changing money, and it's generational. I think that's what we were put on the earth for, is for us to go out and leave our mark, and for our children to leave our mark, and for our grandchildren to leave our mark as well. And I think that's the same for you. So please go and do it. And I hope you find that useful, and we'll catch up with you on the next one. My name's Dan Latto. I hope you have a wicked day. I will speak to you soon. Take care. Hey, it's Dan here. Thank you for listening. Really appreciate each and every one of you. Please click like or subscribe to the entire podcast.